And this morning we're joined by Senator John Kennedy. Senator Kennedy, thank you for taking the time from your very busy schedule to talk to us and communicate with your constituents here in Louisiana. I know when I see you and participating in hearings, you're always representing the American public. You say, this is what the American public wants to know. Regardless of what John Kennedy wants to know, you do it from the public's perspective, and we really appreciate that. And so many things going on. I wish we had more time because we got this Secret Service failure to talk about, the state of the U.S. economy. We're on the brink of a recession, possibly in it. We've got a lot of tension in the Middle East. The American public is concerned, and rightly they should be. So thanks for coming with us. And first thing I want to talk about was I watched you participate in the oversight hearing with the Secret Service Acting Director Ronald Rowland. And what is your definition of accountability and accepting full responsibility? How would you define that in government?
Well, first, Don, thanks for having me, man. I'm back I'm out of Washington and back in America for a few days, and it's great to be home, man. It's great to hear from you. Accountability in the real world is when you screw up really badly and it's clearly your fault and you didn't do your job at a minimum, you get fired. Now, accountability in Washington, D.C., is when you screw up really badly and don't do your job, you get more money because they think you need more money in order to do your job. Look, the Secret Service, I want to start with the positive. I mean, when President Trump was hit and went down, there were probably 10 men and women in the Secret Service that did their job. They jumped on top of the president, protected him from a bullet. They didn't know at the time that the assassin was dead, and they got him out of there. We should thank all those brave men and women. The bad news is that the assassin never should have been able to get that close. It's inexplicable. I have been around presidents a lot, outside a lot. They never have a president come in that they don't have helicopters and drones in the sky looking for people at elevated positions because, as we know from President Kennedy's assassination, that's the worst situation when you have an assassin at an elevated position shooting down. We have a lot of questions. We're going to get answers. The Secret Service right now doesn't have a lot of answers, but we're going to get them. And we're not going to, as I told the press, I don't know, last week, I said, I'm going to chase them like they stole my dog, and so will all my other Senate colleagues. The American people deserve answers. We're going to get accountability, but they just don't have them right now.
Well, it's like pulling teeth. We're getting more information from whistleblowers on a daily basis.
Yep.
And I think Secret Service has those answers as to who and why the drones were refused when they were offered. They lied about they had a briefing. To this day, I don't know if they've ever had a follow-up meeting with the local enforcement people and the state police from Pennsylvania. We've got these encrypted radio communication, encrypted internet communications that certainly is going to shed some light on if there was accomplices or motives and why the FBI and the Secret Service and everybody else in the government with all the expertise they've got cannot get that information. I don't understand that. I watched the interview with the media, and what it looks like to me is that the acting director, Rowe, he's got the answers, but he's only admitting and answering what he thinks is provable, and he's trying to figure out what's provable and what's not so he can divulge what needs to be given to the American public, if that makes any sense. You get that feeling?
It makes perfect sense.
It almost looks like he's got answers in a notebook, and when somebody asks him a question, he finds the one that's the closest answer, not necessarily directly answering what was asked, but this is the closest answer that's been approved and he's okay to give.
Well, here's the bottom line. A 20-year-old punk outsmarted the United States Secret Service. That's the most charitable interpretation of this. And we're going to keep bringing the Secret Service director back and back and back. We're going to hit them with subpoenas. If necessary, we'll file a lawsuit. This is not going away. This is not going away. And I have strongly encouraged folks to just wait till we get the facts. There are about 1 million theories out there about what happened. I don't know which ones are accurate and which ones aren't. I just know that a 20-year-old punk outsmarted the entire Secret Service, and we're going to find out why.
Yeah, well, you can't blame the American public for throwing out all kind of conspiracy theories when they
Heck
don't
no.
have any information.
I want to know, man. We need to know. Right now, we don't have any indication that there were others involved, but I want to know. Right now, it looks like this punk, the assassin, he wasn't left wing or right wing. He was a broken wing. But we don't know, and we're going to get to the bottom of it.
On another topic, the U.S. economy. Stock market took a huge hit yesterday. What's your outlook on it? Is there something that Congress can do to step in to right that ship?
Well, we have been under the last 3.5 years what President Biden has called and Vice President Harris have called Bidenomics. It's now Harrisnomics. And Bidenomics for the average American, Harrisnomics, if you will, too, is, and this is the way the American people see it, you have to spend more to live worse. Harrisnomics, Bidenomics is inflation. You didn't have to be Mensa material to see that with the amount of money they were spending, it was going to cause inflation. A lot of us tried to tell them. They did it anyway. I hate to tell folks, but these high prices are permanent. Yes, inflation is coming down. That just means that's called disinflation. That just means prices aren't rising as quickly as they were. But that doesn't mean that the high prices are going to go down. It just means they're not going to go up as quickly. And I wish that weren't the case. Treasury Secretary Yellen admitted as much. The Federal Reserve Chairman Powell admitted as much. That will be the defining characteristic of this administration. Let me give you an example. The average family in Louisiana, mom, dad, 2 kids, this is someone right in the middle, makes about, let's say, $60,000 a year. As a result of the inflation, that family is having to spend an extra $900 a month, not a year, a month, over $10,000 a year extra. Everything's gone up, not just insurance, as bad as that is. Food, clothes, cars, everything's gone up. And that average family in Louisiana, first they got some checks from the government during the pandemic. They spent all that. A lot of them have had the cash in their savings accounts and their kids' college savings fund. They've maxed out their credit cards, and they're out of money. And they're really getting good at barely getting by. And that defines the economy. Yes, the stock market is part of it. It tanked yesterday. I think it'll be back, but and Wall Street's part of it. But the real defining characteristic is inflation. The other defining characteristic is the labor market was what we call hot. In other words, if there were plenty of job openings. In the last 3 months, that's changed dramatically. I'm not saying people are going to be laid off, but some will. Intel just announced huge layoffs. The economy is clearly slowing. We deserve better.
So the people that need 3 jobs maybe only going to be able to get 2. But I love your description. Spend more and live worse. That seems to be a way it's going. Senator, we're out of time. I wish we had more, and maybe we can get you back later in the week, because I know there's a lot of tension in the Middle East, and a lot of people are concerned about the leadership of the country and the military. Yes, we will.
We'll get through it. This was the greatest country in all of human history. We'll get through it.
Thanks for taking the time to be with us, Senator Kennedy. We appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
All righty. John Kennedy, U.S. Senator. All right, when we come back, we'll tell you what's coming up in the 9 o'clock hour right here on WWL's First News.